Juice Daddy here. Are we ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm kind of ready. As I turn and I look at these empty boxes, it's time for season 3 of the $5 game box. It's the continuing quest to build an awesome collection of video games that started with just one $5 bill. I took a $5 bill, I took an empty box, and I said, I'm going to build a great collection of video games. Kind of started as both a challenge to myself and as a response to people who are saying there's no good deals to be had anymore. There's no, all the flippers, all the sharks. You gotta pay. Everybody's asking eBay prices. I was like, no. If you put in just a little work, you can do it. And over 2 seasons, a little over 2 years combined, we have overflowed these boxes with great video games, added so much to my collection, and now we're going to try again. I have taken everything and put it in my collection. We start with empty boxes, and this season we start with, in the Zelda wallet, 20, 35, 45, 55, 56, 57, 58, $59, and 50, there it is, 75 cents. 3/4. Those come in handy at garage sales. So, buy, we flip, we trade, whatever it takes to build and to put great games in these boxes. Now, season 1, I treated this as a separate collection to the other video games that I own. So, even if I already owned it myself, I would keep it. For instance, if I found a cheap copy of Super Mario Bros. 3, I'm like, oh, we've got Super Mario Bros. 3 in our collection, even though I've got more than enough copies of Super Mario Bros. 3. Last season, I treated it as part of my collection, which really kind of helped. It definitely helped that if I found Super Mario Bros. 3 is instantly something to flip. And especially if I found it at a garage sale for $1 or $2 and turned around and sold it for 15 or 20 or whatever, that's great. That was awesome. That's how we put money in this wallet that went on the floor. That's how we got great games. That's how we did our goal games. That's something we started in season 2, the $5 game box goal games. Because not only are we going to try to flip locally on Facebook or on Craigslist or at the local retro game shop, we're going to also use eBay and mostly Mercari to sell online. And we use those online funds to try to buy the games that we're probably not going to find out thrifting or garage selling. And it's the games we want that are a little bit pricier that we want in our collection. And we bought 2 of them last season. We paid about $100 each. We bought Hunting Ground on PS2, and we bought Einhinder on PS1. And I'll give you a little update on where we at as we start season 3 on the $5 game box game goal big board, the magnetic whiteboard attached to my refrigerator in my apartment. Goals for season 3. I believe I've mentioned this a few times in videos over the winter. My apartment is becoming overflowing. There are some seats I cannot sit down in because it's got stuff in there I need to take care of. especially not only because of the $5 game box, but because of the $600 collection that I got last October that I went in with Terry over at Nostalgia Lane. We each went in $600 and got some massive, massive game systems, good stuff, TurboGrafx games, 3DO, I got a CDI, all sorts of good stuff. A lot of stuff needs to go out to my storage unit. A lot of stuff I just need to sell. So that's where I'm at. I have a lot of stuff, and I live in a small apartment. I don't have a game room. I don't have a basement. I have my apartment. And while I enjoy having a nice, large collection, I also enjoy being able to live in my apartment. Having a place I can sit down and eat. Having a place I can sit down and relax. So, goals for $5 Game Box Season 3 is just because I don't own it doesn't mean I have to have it. So what this is going to mean is if I find a huge lot of Wii titles that I don't own, and they're all $1 each, instead of going, oh, I don't have these in my collection, I'm going to go, will I ever play it? Or can I flip it? That's going to be the criteria. Can I flip it? Or will I play it? If the answer to both of those is no, then we're not going to spend any money on junk. PS2 Snickle Fritz, as CJR calls it, Wii, shovelware, old PS1 Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen titles. I mean, there might be exceptions. NES games I don't own, Super Nintendo games I don't own, Master System Genesis games I don't own. Like, I don't know if I've found Master System at a garage sale. I don't think I have. But as far as like PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, even I imagine it may be rare, but I would not be surprised to see a few old PS4, Xbox One titles this summer. I've already found Xbox One games at garage sales last summer. Overwatch I found, and that Shadow of Mordor game, and Plants vs. Zombies 2. Prototype Biohazard Edition I found at a garage sale. So, I mean, just because, like, I don't know, I can't even think of a Wii. Hell's Kitchen on Wii. And I'm a Gordon Ramsay fan. If I find Hell's Kitchen on the Wii, I don't own it. I can't flip it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need a random Wii game that is just going to take up space in here until I find good, better stuff, and then it's going to just be thrown in a box and never seen or heard of again until I get sick of it or I move and I just ship it to Goodwill. Here, get rid of it. So no more of that. I'm going to be a little bit more curating in what I get. I'm going for good deals, trying to raise the funds in our online, because we got 2 great games that I want to get in my collection. So, will I ever play it, or can I flip it? The answer to one of those, at least, has to be yes. Otherwise, we're going to pause. Pause. So, let's get an update to our big board. I do have one online sale I need to update. A lady messaged me and asked me if I'd just sell her this Bratz game. This was the last $5 game box pickup we did. It was a bunch of GameCube games for $20. I think I'm trying to sell everyone but Godzilla. So I had this little lot up for $11. And she's like, man, I just want Bratz. I'm like, I'll sell it to you for $5. Unfortunately, I did free shipping, which cost me $3. So we're going to add $2. So let's get over to the $5 game box big board over there. And here we are, $5 game box game goals. Looking to flip a lot of the stuff that we buy online in order to acquire premium titles. Right now, our game goals are Gunneck, a shooter for the NES, and Radiant Silvergun, one of the grails of Sega Saturn. In fact, it didn't come out in the US. It's only came out in Japan. So we'd have to buy a Japanese copy. Both of these hover around $200. Gunneck has gotten a little bit pricier, but I have found some. There was one on Macari not that long ago with a label wasn't great. It was torn in a couple spots, but he wanted like $165 for it. So it's possible that, we're going to get these around the $200 range. And you can see where we're at. $167.15 after we add that $2. And so we are well on our way. Just a couple of good finds will get us really close, if not over the top, to right away get one of these awesome premium games into the $5 Game Box game collection. So all's left now is for Montana to stop having winter, for some people to start holding garage sales. It's late April. And usually there's some garage sales. Not a lot, but even in March, I can go hit 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. It's been slim pickings. There's been a couple of days where there's 3 or 4. And I've actually bought some stuff, not for the $5 game box, which you've seen in a pickup video or will see when I get the pickup video uploaded, depending on when this comes out. Atari 2600, Donkey Kong Jr., $5, not a great deal. Just gave him $5. All I need, snow and cold and wind to go away, and some sunshine to come out so people open those garage doors on Saturday morning and get those video games out. And hopefully we get Gunneck and Radiant Silvergun over the next couple months into our game collection. So, I'm going to turn off the camera for now. For you, it should be instantaneous. For me, I have no idea when it's coming back on to show you our first pickup. I want to go big. The first pickup for $5 game box, I don't want it to be Jak and Daxter for PS2. I found a great deal on Jak and Daxter for 50 cents. First game. No, I want some good titles. The very first thing in the $5 game box was a Jungle Green N64 that the dude sold me for $5. I forgot what the first thing was last season. I think it was pretty good. So, I want to keep the trend. That first pickup, make it huge. So, hopefully that happens real soon. Holy hell, guys. We're going to start the $5 game box season 3 off right. I was hoping to start it with a bang, and we are going to. I've got to run to the ATM. I'm going to pull $100 out of, and we're going to use it out of our online funds, which you should have saw at the intro, what we have, like $169 or whatever, but it is going to be worth it. Oh my God, I hope he puts it away, and I hope some other dude didn't overhear us there and offer him the cash right there on hand. But I'm going to run to the ATM. I'm going to get $100, and we're going to make the episode about this pickup because holy crap, it's awesome. Wait till you see this. This is amazing. All right, I'm back. I'm leaving the sale. Let this little poodle go. It's back there somewhere in this little condo neighborhood. They advertised it as a collector's sale. Oh shit, there's another dog running out. As a collector's sale. And I initially got there, and they've got random boxes and crates of DVDs and CDs that nothing really matches. Like you open a CD for, a band, and it's one of the that's what I call music ones. It's just... And there's a bunch of empty... They brought some PS2 games, but all but 2 were empty cases. I grabbed the 2. There was nothing special, a Ghost Rider and some motorcycle game. And I also grabbed an empty case for SpongeBob SquarePants. They had a deck of sports for Wii, but inside the case was 2 copies of Wii Sports. So kind of threw that in. And the guy I was talking to was like, yeah, you know, this has random stuff. And then the other guy was in the garage, you know, digging stuff out for this. He's like, wait, what are you looking for? I said, any old games. I'm a collector. He's like, I got some stuff in my personal collection I want to get rid of. And he brought out a Wii, a PS1 with the RCA cables, which I kind of thought about getting, but I flipped them before for around $35, $40. So, but I just don't want to fuck with it. He said he had an Xbox 360, but he wanted to clear the hard drive. And he's like, I've got an N64. I'm like, all right, you got any games? He's like, yeah, I'll go get the N64 games. Thanks. If you had brought out the PlayStation games, I would have looked through those too. But you want to bring out the N64 stuff first? Fine. So I'm going through them. I'm like, well, how much do you want for them? And he's like, depends on the game. So I find Mario Kart 64. I'm like, well, how much would you want for this game? He's like, oh, that 8 to 10. You know, you'd probably find it for more online. So I'm like, well, if he's only asking 10 for Mario Kart 64, which is probably the most valuable game in here, let me throw him an offer. So I said, I'll give you $50 for the box. Oh, and these little things over here, I'll give you $55 total. He's like, Thing is, I've also got the system. So he starts describing the system. And when he did, I was like, listen, I'll give you $100 for the whole lot. I got to run to the ATM, but I'll give you $100. And look what we got. We have a Jungle Green N64 expansion pack and 4 matching Jungle Green controllers. I haven't even tested them all. This one's nice. This one seems nice. I'll test them when I get home. All the AV. There's the power. No, that's the power supply. I even got extra AV if they're not in here. But underneath looked at the system. There's a bunch of games. Smash Brothers, although he said he's having trouble getting it working. Maybe it just needs to be cleaned. There's a Smash. There's a Mario Kart 64. There's a Super Mario 64. GoldenEye's in there. I think Donkey Kong. Mario Golf is in there. $100. $100. And assuming everything is in working order, we're going to make that back and then some. I don't know how much we're going to put in our actual collection. I think I only noticed 1 or 2 games I don't have. But we're definitely going to flip that. And that's how we start Season 3 of the $5 game box. Holy cow. I wanted to kick it off with a bang. I mean, I'll be honest. I've been to a couple garage sales before today. And the only thing I've bought, which you're going to see in a pickup video, either already posted or to be posted, is a PS3 Super Slib with no controller and a copy of Donkey Kong Country Jr. for the Atari 2600. That's all I found worth buying until today. And whoo! Wow, that's the kind of fight. This is why I get up in the morning. And I've seen so many resellers today. Every garage sale I've rolled up to has had at least one truck with a big old bed attached to it, thinking they're going to find stuff. So many people with their phones out looking up prices to flip and shit. Ah! All I did was talk to a couple dudes, and I got that N64 lot for $100. And it wasn't even that hard to convince them to take that price. Wow. All right. I don't know why, but I'm going to go hit up a couple more sales. Maybe we'll see what else we're going to get. But tell your friends. Like and subscribe, the bell, all that shit. This is how we roll here on the Juice Daddy channel and the $5 game box. This is how we game collect in Montana. Running some tests. Look at that. So far, so good. So with those 2 games, Zelda's looking just fine. Now, he said specifically he could not get Smash running. Now I've just kind of run Q-tips through all the connectors here. So here we go. Let's find out. Um, um, define not working. Um, Can't do it one-handed. Ready. Means define not working.
3, 2, 1, go!
Eat it, Link. I'm beating you one-handed. Get off my ass. Oh, you suck. Ah! I don't know what the dude's talking about. Works perfectly. As far as I can tell. Sweet! That's the only game he said doesn't work. Still got a whole slew to test. You can see the quality of some of the titles. The only one that was in really bad shape? Who gives a shit? That's the worst looking game on there. Alright, I'm gonna run through them all. Controllers, by the way, good, okay. These are little, That one's the worst right there. I give that a 4, maybe a 6 or 7. Actually, that's a good one. Really cannot complain at all. Wow. There's the 2 copies of Wii Sports. Picked up Ghost Rider and whatever that racing game is. That's empty. And that's the deck of sports. Oh, wait. That's the deck of sports the 2 Wii Sports were in. Alright. I'm going to test them all. Whew. Alright. Back down to 67.15. Was it worth it? Let's find out. The short answer to that question is yes. Yes, it was worth it. The long answer to that question is yes. $100. Everything in there. Unfortunately, we're not going to put much actually in the box to add to our collection, but we should make money. So let's go over the pickup on the first episode of Season 3 of the $5 game box. Grab yourself a beverage. It's early in the morning for me. Wild cherry Pepsi, 0, no sugar. I thought about having a beer. It's not even 10 a.m. yet, so I'm not in Vegas. Alright. As always on these videos, we're going to use pricecharting.com values. Now, price charting is not the Bible. Price charting is a guide. Price charting is just to kind of give you an idea. Is this game super common? Is this game really rare? Is it, what kind of price does it fetch? Just because I say, oh, this game's worth $9.18 doesn't mean I can walk out my door today and get $9.18 for it. I may be able to get 10. I may only be able to get 5. But it's a guide. And pricecharting.com values are accurate as of right now, 9:49 on Sunday, April 28th, Mountain Daylight Time. So here we go. We actually didn't spend any money out of the wallet, so we're still at $59.75 in the wallet. So we're still doing all right cash-wise. But obviously we needed more. All right off the bat, I wish I had a spy cam or something because I would have filmed Well, actually, it would have been a long interaction. I rolled to this garage sale. I wasn't even going to hit this garage sale because this dude, the ad screamed reseller. It was like, we have a year's worth of collecting, a whole year of garage sales in one spot. And it turned out my hunch is accurate. This guy buys storage units, like does storage auctions. Storage Wars. Yep. He does that. And his garage and house is full of junk. And I didn't get it when he told me that, because that place that those two guys were living is kind of small. Now, it's not as small as my apartment, but then again, I don't go out and do Storage Wars auctions anywhere because I barely have room to fit all the video games I find, let alone just the absolute junk you're going to find in a storage unit. And that, I mean, a menagerie of golf clubs, cookware, growlers, books, and just stacks and stacks and stacks of DVD cases and CD cases with discs that didn't match, VHS tapes, just you name it. So there were a few video game things. He brought out a stack of PS2 cases, and all but 2 of them were empty. So the 2 that weren't empty, and this kind of goes against what I said earlier in the video, like I'm not buying junk. So I need to kind of retrain myself. There's Ghost Rider for the PS2. I get my charger starting right here. Ghost Rider is worth $6.19 complete. I didn't think it'd be worth anything. I don't have it. And it's a Marvel game. So, yeah, sure. Ghost Rider. I don't have any place to put any of this stuff. Stack it here. The other that wasn't empty, I took a chance on this, and I honestly can't find it on price charting because there's a PSP version of this hands-free 10K Honda Superbike World Championship. There's a PSP version, and there's other Superbike World Championship games on PS2, but I could not find this one on price charting. But I looked at some eBay sold listings, and I found a few in the $5-6 range. You know, just taking a chance. Maybe that it would have been a $10-15 game. Some of them are. Some, like, obscure racing games are. Most aren't. What do you do? The empty cases they had, Spider-Man 2, Grand Theft Auto Vice City? One sip of pop, I'm already burping. Every damn $5 game box. I'm out here belching. Anyway, the other, I forgot. But the one empty case, I just grabbed it. SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom. I do find this on occasion. In fact, I think I have a copy of this, but maybe for GameCube, where the case is just in tatters, is horrible. But, you know, I do find that. And if I get the disc, this is about a $20 flip, $15, $20 flip. So just, you know, grabbing this case with the manual, awesome. And finally, there's this deck of sports for Wii, but inside of it were these 2 Wii U discs. Both are Wii Sports discs. I don't know why. It's like this one's left out in the sun. I don't know if they made off-color blue Wii Sports. Discs look alright, so there they are. Wii Sports, according to price charting, loose goes for $11.52. GameStop will give me $4.80 cash. That's cash because they're doing cash same as credit right now until I think May 11th. So I may be taking a couple trips to GameStop over the next couple of days. Just make $4.80, give them 2 dimes, make it even 5. Put a little extra cash in the old wallet right there. All right. So I'm talking to the main guy of this garage sale. And like, well, what are you looking for? And I'm digging through the video game cases. I'm like, I'm a game collector. His roommate, his buddy, whatever. This dude was in the garage the whole time, trying to dig junk out, trying to just get all the storage auction stuff that they've accumulated out into the driveway and into the yard. And his buddy kind of says, oh, he's looking for games. And I hear from the garage, what kind of games you looking for? Any. And then you start rattling them off. Old Nintendo, Game Boys. He's like, PlayStation? Like, yeah, PlayStation. I got some stuff. So he goes in, and I hang around, and a few people are coming in and out of the garage sale, and I recognize, I'm like, uh-oh. So, dude brings out a Wii, no Wiimotes, no hookups, brings out a PlayStation 1 with the RCA jacks, the original model PlayStation 1s, which I have sold a couple times in the past, usually for around 35 to 40 bucks. Because at one point, I don't know if this is still true, I haven't researched this in years, but for a while, the original PlayStation 1 was sought after by audiophiles, people who can like hear the difference between CD players when they're listening to their music. PlayStation 1, the original, the very first model, was viewed as one of the best, especially for the price, values as far as CD playback. It had the best audio quality because of those RCA jacks on the back of it. Now, when they switched and it's just the regular, you know, the PlayStation hookup that you all know that they use for PS2, PS3, may even work. I doubt it works on PS4. But then it went to hell. But people who can tell the difference in audio quality between players would seek out that original PS1 for many years. And I don't know if it's still true today, but the PS1 was viewed as an elite CD playback device, and therefore you could sell it for a few bucks online. And I sold it, like I said, a couple of times. I didn't feel like messing with it. It had Goodwill stickers on it. He didn't have any cables for it. I'm sure I've got RCA cables lying around somewhere. But then you gotta list it. Then you gotta ship it. Then you gotta... I don't know. What else did he bring out? He brought a wired Xbox One controller, or Xbox 360 controller, which, sitting here now, I'm kind of kicking myself for not grabbing, because those kind of fetch, or they used to, maybe like the PS1, they used to fetch a little premium because PC game players, Xbox controllers are viewed as one of the best controllers, and getting a wired one to be able to use for PC was, you know, people, the wired ones brought in more money, or got more money, than even a wireless 360 controller. Once again, I don't know if that's still true. I don't know if the Steam controller took over. Advancements in PC made it easier to, you know, hook up Bluetooth wireless controllers than it was back when, you know, the 360 was only 2 or 3 years old. Once again, I was kind of like, whatever. And then, so he starts mentioning, I've also got an N64 I need to bring out. Like, oh, okay. I'm like, you got any games for any of these? He's like, yeah, I'll go get the N64 games. Cool. So he brings out a box, dirty old box, full of games. And I'm shifting through these games, and good titles, and in decent shape. And immediately, what would you want for all of these? He's like, well, it depends on the game you want. So I picked what I knew to be one of the more pricier ones, probably the pricier one in the box, Mario Kart 64. Just to get, okay, and this is to get an idea where his head is at. All right, here I've got a game that I know can sell upwards $40, $45, sometimes $50. What do you want for this? That one about 8 to 10. 8 to 10? Then I knew I could get all these. If he's only wanting $8 for Mario Kart 64, we can make a deal. So long story short, we made a deal. I said, what if I offered you $50 for this whole box? If you take 8 for this, I'll give you $50 for the whole shebang. And then, actually, I'll give you $55. And I threw in the 2 copies of Wii Sports and the Ghost Rider. I was willing to pay $5 for that. What was I thinking? So he's kind of like, you know, but I've also got the system that I want to sell. I'm like, well, okay. He's like, yeah, and it's jungle green, and I've got 4 matching controllers. Okay. And I hadn't even seen the system. I'm like, what if I I'll have to run to the ATM, but what if I give you $100 for the system, controllers, and everything? He's like, $100? Okay. I'm like, all right, can you put this aside for me? I'll be back. And whew, I was gone in a flash, back in about 5 minutes with $100, had it in my pocket, in my jacket, just walked up, he had grabbed the box, I said, here you go, thank you very much. He lit, okay, thank you, enjoy. And I could just tell that the system was in all right shape. So let's just get to it. Let's stop talking and let's show. Here is our Jungle Green N64. Nice shape. The Jungle Green N64 that started this show back on Season 1, Episode 1 of the $5 game box. The main controller port, Player 1 controller port, was busted. And also, it did have some video playback, and I think we determined it was something, this wasn't completely set right. But I was able to turn that initial $5 purchase into a $40 because the local retro game shop dude wants to shell. He could take a regular black N64 innards, put the green shell around it, and make a bit of a premium. So it's in nice shape. Not even that dirty. Maybe a couple scuffs. Expansion packs in there, as you can see. It's clean. There's no chips. Maybe this needs a little wipe down. But it works, as you saw earlier. It definitely does work. All right. Where do I put this? Right there. Controllers. He was right. We have 4 N64 controllers. This one, I mean, it's loose. It doesn't quite snap back to the middle, but, you know, whatever. I give it a 4 out of 10. This one, let's see, maybe 5 out of 10. Yeah, maybe that's a little worse. Well, maybe that's a 3 out of 10. But the other two should be awesome. Here is, oh yeah, perfect. That's a 10 out of 10. And what we got here? 8 or 9 out of 10. So 4 controllers, 2 really decent, 2 really great, the other 2 decent. According to price charting, the Jungle Green N64 with a controller goes for $82.98. The green controllers by themselves go for $23.99 each. We're way over $100 in value before we even get to the games. All right. So yeah, we got something to flip. I'm tempted. I suppose I could probably list the N64, a couple controllers and some games for around $100 and maybe get it locally. I'm tempted just to take it into the retro game shop because we're not really adding too much. We're only maybe adding a couple games to the $5 game box. I figure he's going to give me some decent credit at the retro game shop for a Jungle Green N64 and a couple controllers. We may be able to throw a really nice title or two right off the bat, right as we kick off the season, just from our first find. Let's get to these games. So, we're not all of them were great. As I said earlier, this one's in the worst shape, Madden 64. It looks like somebody shat it out. Honestly. I mean, look at that. Look at that Hollywood Video carving into that. Is a property of Hollywood Video was branded into the back of the cart. I didn't even bother taking the scrubby thing to this to clean it up. Who cares? Madden 64, $3.97. May just go right in the trash. Tony Hawk 64. Once again, Kara here didn't take care of her shit. You can see I taped the label on there. I have done like a cleaning and testing of all these. That label was kind of torn and curled all the way down to here. So I just did a little tape job just to hold it on there. Tony Hawk, this is kind of a shame, $9.23 game. It maybe would have been worth, trading in for a couple bucks credit to the retro game shop, but in this condition, I'll be lucky if he even takes it. 1080 snowboarding. A Nintendo published title ain't worth crap. Oh well, 1080 snowboarding, $4.99. I think I took one of the local. I think the retro game shop had one of his old stickers on here, and I kind of messed up. That label damaged. The long one was there, but I did that one. Trying to take the label off. Here's a game I don't have, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it. Rugrats. Rugrats Scavenger Hunt. I did take the scrubby pad to get Kara's name off there. You can still see some residue of her lettering back there. Rugrats worth $4.13. And NFL Blitz in pretty decent shape, worth $11.81. All right. 20 games in total. Not going to complain. That's awesome. Cruisin' USA Player's Choice in decent shape. This is worth $8. Star Wars Racer. This is one of my favorite games back in the day. I think it's really fun, and I never played it with the expansion pack. So when I was testing it, I'm like, oh, it is a little different with that expansion pack in there. Star Wars Racer, $3.92. This is a game I don't think I have. San Francisco Rush Extreme Racing. It's worth $6.88. So that may be one of the games we're adding into our collection. Put it over there. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire Player's Choice. Once again, most of these are in decent shape. I mean, those scruffs. It's 25-year-old software at this point. Worth $8.95. And Star Fox 64 in really nice shape. Star Fox 64 worth $16.30. I did, in my adventures in garage selling, find a Star Fox 64 for the 3DS, sealed, never opened at a garage sale. She wanted $20 for it. I didn't get it. All right, and yeah, there was a Rumble Pack in one of the controllers, memory card in another one. The reason I kept kind of bugging these guys about video games is that, like, in one of the trips out of the garage, bringing DVDs and CD cases, there was 2 third-party N64 Rumble Packs. And he's kind of threw on the table. I'm like, got anything else for the Nintendo 64? No, that's it right there. You sure? Mario Golf. Great shape. $19.93. Here's that copy of Mario Kart 64. It is a player's choice. Label looks a little bit faded. At least that player's choice label does. Everything else, I mean, somebody put their initials on the back label. I didn't bother taking the scrubby to that. Mario Kart Player's Choice worth $35.56. Diddy Kong Racing. This has come down a little bit. It used to be around $20-25, I think. Now it's worth, focus, $15.93. Pokemon Snap. Maybe I could say, hey, it's a Pikachu game. Get into the hype of Detective Pikachu by trying to sell this. $10.02. And we have GoldenEye, which I think has come up a little bit. It used to be around $12 to $15. Now price charting has it at $21.16. And one more stack, not snack. We have Super Mario 64. Worth $23.26. Another game I think I'm keeping because I don't have it, Rampage World Tour. Worth $17.44. So that's 2 games. I think at least 2, unless I decide to keep that Rugrats. 2 games out of all this we're actually going to keep. Donkey Kong 64, which I'm assuming came with a system. I think this was bundled with that Jungle Green. And because it requires the expansion pack to play. $16.88. Ocarina of Time. This is kind of a shame because it's got, I don't know if that's a rental. Yeah, it looks like that's our old rental tag somebody tried to remove back there. Otherwise, it's in decent shape. Ocarina of Time worth $23.78. And there's Smash. Smash Bros. I did some label damage trying to remove a label. Oh well, that kind of sucks. Worth $36.41. So 20 games in all, plus the Jungle Green system, 4 controllers. Paid $100 with the Wii Sports and stuff. Comes out. Maybe I didn't add in the Wii Sports. I don't think I did. Trying to remember if I added this in. I probably did. But according to price charting, this $100 purchase is valued at $487.73. And that is, as Bithead 1000 would say back in the day, feel good garage selling. Feels good, man. So I mentioned GameStop because now it's time to flip all this. And yeah, we saw what's happening with the online stuff. I would like to get my credit back up on Macari. However, also want to flip some of this. So, like I said, I probably could list a system on Facebook and meet some jerk off in some parking lot somewhere and, or take it to the retro game store. I mentioned GameStop because I was looking up Wii Sports and they're doing cash same as credit. Well, for Mario Kart, this is all in cash. From GameStop, for Mario Kart, I can get $24. For Smash, I can get $30. For Super Mario 64, $19.20. For Zelda, $14.40. For GoldenEye, $18. And for Donkey Kong, $9.60. That is, a quick adding, that's 54. What do we got here? 19 plus 14 is 33.60. So that already is at 87.60. Put in 18. We're already over $100 if I just sell Mario Kart, Smash, Super Mario 64, Zelda, and GoldenEye. That's before the Wii Sports. Tempted because I was looking at Macari listings, and there's for Mario Kart, there's a whole lot of listings, like around $25 to $30 that are unsold. And once you factor in fees, your shipping fees, your Macari fees, and then the time you take to do the listing, which I include when I put my time is my time. That's not free. So taking the pictures, doing a good listing, all that stuff does take time. And if, for Mario Kart, for instance, if I could sell it only for, let's say, $32, and that's going to include me having to go to the FedEx store to print off a label because I don't have a printer here, using up an envelope, which costs money, bubble wrapping it so it ships right, driving my butt to the post office sometime tomorrow, doing the Macari listing, taking the pictures, putting a description, which if could takes 5 to 10 minutes if you're good at it, if you want to do a good description. Is it worth losing $7 to just go to GameStop and take 24? It's tempting. So we'll see what I do. It'll probably be part of episode 2. What I do. Some of this may get listed on Macari to, get the online funds back up. But I'm really kind of tempted just to go get straight cash and make my money back just at GameStop while they're still in business. Which, knock on wood, just a little bit longer, guys. Just a little bit. Keep doing those cash same as credit promos. All right, y'all. Yeah, welcome back. It's been a while. How you been? But it's springtime. We got a major snowstorm last night here in Montana. But garage sales are trickling in. We got money in our wallet. And we got a great start to season 3. of the $5 game box. Welcome back. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. And I will see you again soon. Right here on the Juice Daddy channel. Take care.